Hi, my name's Lexi.
And I'm Sophie.
And we're here at Baldersby St James Primary School.
We have two classes.
The junior class, which has year 3, 4, 5 and 6.
And the infant class, which has reception year 1 and 2.
As our school is small, we only have 9 members of staff,
including the cook.
There is more to the countryside than you think.
Farming is a popular job.
But not everyone is involved with farming. The juniors have been producing a film to show you what it's like to live in a rural part of the UK.
We have been interviewing local villagers
to find out what they think about the countryside.
Here are the people we have been interviewing.
Would you like to tell us what your name is?
Nigel Richardson.
Where do you live?
I live in Rainton.
Why did you choose to live there?
Well, about 5 years ago, me and my wife moved into the pub. So we took over the pub, and we had the pub for 2 years, and then I got offered a job with Kevin Walker. So I took the job, so we've been living in the village ever since.
What do you like about where you live?
We like Rainton, but both me and my wife, because it's very quiet. We both work close to work. I can walk to work in the village, which is very good. We do have animals, and we have dogs and horses, which is also very good in the village because there's plenty of dog walking, lots of fields for Jill to ride her horse.
Is there anything that you don't like in the village?
The main thing that I don't like in the village is people travelling too fast through the village.
What do you do in your job?
And we sell diggers, loading shovels for use in mainly dairy farmers, so that the farmers can feed their cattle and their stock.
How does the place where you lived before compare to Rainton, and why?
Why? Well, the place I lived before was a place called Kirby Moorside, and it was more a market town, so it was much bigger, much busier. It was on a main road, so that's why we like Rainton very much, is that it's so quiet.
What don't you like about your job?
I love my job, and I love everything about my job. I don't think there's anything I dislike really.
That's good. What size tyres do you supply?
Tyres? Well, we sell anything from a small loading shovel which lifts a tonne to a big loading shovel that lifts 4 tonne. So there's lots of different tyre sizes for different machines.
Where do you send the diggers to?
We send them, our area is basically the north of England over towards Skipton, from sort of Retford, which is Nottinghamshire, up to the Scottish borders, across to Skipton, which is our area. But that's for new machines. We can sell second-hand machines anywhere in the world or anywhere in the country. We have sold machines to Finland, to Germany, to Ireland, as well as we send parts all over the world because we've got our own website, so we send parts to America, to Australia, all through the EU, so anywhere in the world for parts.
Thank you for telling us about why you live here and about your job.
You're welcome, thank you for inviting me.
What is your name?
My name's John Clark.
Where do you work?
I work on a farm for my granddad.
How many people work there?
There's just me.
Do you get lonely there?
I do sometimes, Harry, but other people do come to help me at certain times of the year, so I'm not by myself all of the time.
How long have you worked there?
I've worked there for 12 years.
What transport do you have?
To get to work, I just walk to work.
What is your transport?
At work, I use tractors, loaders, forklifts, four-wheel drive vehicles, pickups. That's about it really, Harry.
Have you lived there all your life?
I have, yes.
How many animals do you have on your farm?
We have 400 sheep,
Thank you for your time.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Please may you introduce yourself.
I'm Stephen Bannister.
Why did you choose to live in the countryside?
To get away from the crime in Leeds and Bradford.
What part of the countryside do you live in?
At the moment I live in Rainton.
How long have you lived in the countryside?
Over 2 years.
What does your job involve?
I am the innkeeper at the Lamb Inn at Rainton. A bit like in the story of Mary and Joseph. I entertain and look after people.
Do you enjoy your job?
I love meeting people and entertaining people, so yeah, I absolutely love my job.
Have you had a job in the past?
I worked at Royal Mail for 18 years.
Do you like the job you've got now better than the one in the past?
A lot better, yeah. I get spend more time with my family and meeting lots more people.
What type of job do you want in the future?
I won't have another job. This is my last job.
How many staff do you have in the pub?
My wife does all the cooking now. I'm behind the bar and probably 6 part-time staff at the same time.
Do you sell food?
We do sell food, especially for children.
What's your favourite meal at the pub?
Fish and chips.
Are they friendly with you?
99% of people are always friendly.
Do you ever get any trouble?
Not in the pub I run now. In the past, the pubs I have, yeah.
Do your children enjoy living in the pub?
They love living in the pub and they want to take over my job when they get older, supposedly.
Does your job involve anything about the countryside?
A lot of people want to come to the countryside to relax and enjoy nice food and drinks, so yes.
What is your name?
Joe Clark.
Do you enjoy living in the countryside?
Yes, definitely, very much.
What do you do for a living?
I work for an Italian printing company. We print full-colour books.
Do you have to speak in their language?
Sometimes I have to speak in their language, but I'm not very good at speaking Italian. Unfortunately, they all speak English, which helps me a lot.
How many people work with you?
At home, just me. There are 3 other people in the UK, but there are about 250 in Italy.
How long have you been doing this job for?
13 years.
Thank you for your time, and that's the end of our interview.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Can you introduce yourself?
My name is Norman Wharton. I live at Topcliffe and I have been a market trader for 44 years.
Can you tell me about your job?
My job was going round various markets through the week, which are selling produce, which was dried fruits, nuts, herbs, etc., etc. And I've done that for about plus 40 years.
Have you had a previous job?
Yes, when I left school I had 1 or 2 jobs with poultry, and then I started working on the markets.
Do you live in the countryside, and why?
I live in the countryside because I like the countryside. I like country life. I don't think I would be any good in a town, and I've always lived in the country.
What transport do you use and why?
I have a large van, and because I needed it to transport my produce around.
Is it hard to travel in the bad weather?
It can be, but I've been very fortunate that I've never been held up or anything with the bad weather until this last year, when I couldn't get to 1 or 2 markets because of the snow.
Do you own any animals?
Yes, I have 1 cat.
How long have you worked for the church?
I've been involved with the church for well over, I should think, 30 years at St James, and the last 22 I've been a church warden.
What does a church warden do?
The church warden looks after the smooth running of the church, and to assist and help the vicar at in times when they're wanted. There's generally 2 church wardens, and we share the duties, looking after the church, churchyard and roundabout.
Thank you for coming today. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about living in the countryside?
Well, I think it's wonderful when you do things like this in school. I never had any opportunities to do this, and I think you're doing a wonderful job.
Thank you.